It's Kevin with GatheringMagic.com with this week's episode of the Rogues Alley. So I'm going to do a little bit of shameful self-promotion here. This is a deck updated a little bit since I played it, but on Twitch on Sundays, I do a little segment where we open up my Twitch stream to the viewers that are currently on the channel, and they pick a card, and then we brew around it. So if you notice in the left-hand side, sometimes I have these old deck lists. I have so many of them, and when I'm brewing around decks, people say, what's this deck? What's this Obliterator deck? And I'll pull it up and show them, oh, this was a failed brew. I haven't played it a long time. And it actually leads to some good discussions and some actually good brew sessions. And a couple Sundays ago, that exact scenario happened, and some people said, hey, let's look at your Jund Obliterator deck, and I pulled it back up. Of course, it was obsolete. It was still using cards like Deathrite Shaman. I haven't played it that long ago, since before the Deathrite Shaman ban, but we decided to revive this deck and try to see if we can make it work. Had some good success. I think I actually went 2-0 with it. I can't remember if I lost a match or not with the Phyrexian Obliterator Jund deck. But the whole combination for this deck is the Domri and Phyrexian Obliterator pairing up together. You can get Domri out on turn number 2 with the perfect land drops, and Phyrexian Obliterator out on turn number 3 and have it fight cards like a Tarmogoyf. Sometimes like Tarmogoyf at that point it's like a 4/5, and then they have to sack all their permanents, and basically you just lock them out. So anyway, the Twitch stream usually goes on now Sundays. Sundays is the best day that works for me. I am very inconsistent though, so all the people that are fans of this channel, and especially the Rogues Alley, I think that you would love the Twitch stream. But just a little bit of heads up, it's based on if I'm actually around on Sunday or have the time to actually do it. So anyway, let's just go down the deck tech. Oh, you can find my Twitch channel at Twitch, Rogue Deck Builder, just like the YouTube Rogue Deck Builder. And if you just search for Rogue Deck Builder, you'll find my channel. But anyway, so how we're gonna get the Phyrexian Obliterator out on time is we're gonna run a full package of Birds of Paradise and Elves of Deep Shadow. Elves of Deep Shadow is the best one. It's better than like a Noble Hierarch because Noble Hierarch cannot add for black, but the Elves of Deep Shadow can at the cost of a damage. So ideally, first turn, you want a Overgrown Tomb would be the best card to put out first turn, like a Bloodstained Mire or a Wooded Foothills, in an Overgrown Tomb, and then drop either Birds of Paradise or an Elves of Deep Shadow. So that adds your green and also has a black source. And so you can pop down your Elves. And then turn number 2, you'd want like a Blood Crypt. And then you have green, and then you have green, black, and red for the Domri. You just need green and red for the Domri. And then turn number 3, you just need to drop another black source, and then Phyrexian Obliterator comes out. So this deck does do a lot of damage to herself. That's why we're running 3 Kitchen Finks. I had 4 in here. I just had to make one last cut. I probably need to go back up to 2 to 4 Kitchen Finks because you'll see how much damage you do to yourself. A lot of other stuff gains life in this deck, like Kalitas. We have cards in the sideboard also, like a Huntmaster to gain some more life, and Pulse of Murasa as well to gain some life. So removal package is very slim in this deck. It's not a traditional Jund. We're not trying to do the attrition war like Jund is trying to do. We're trying to establish like a mid-ranged Phyrexian Obliterator or Kalitas, or even have the Viscera Seer Kitchen Finks combo in here. So we're only running a 1 Terminate, 2 Abrupt Decays, a Maelstrom Pulse, and a Kolaghan's Command. I did have a Goblin Dark Dwellers in the deck because of how good Goblin Dark Dwellers and Kolaghan's Command is. It's a little bit clunky to put Goblin Dark Dwellers in the deck, so I've cut it. It probably wants to be in the sideboard, though, as if you bring more Kolaghan's Command. I found one of the best combos in the entire Modern is Kolaghan's Command and Goblin Dark Dwellers. It's just insane value, as you can cast the Goblin Dark Dwellers, and then flashback a Kolaghan's Command, bring back a card that you have in your graveyard and do 2 damage, or make him discard a card, or kill an artifact. All the options of the Kolaghan commands are so strong in Modern at the moment. So we have these flex spots, is what I like to call them. 2 Eternal Witnesses, 1 Courser of Kruphix, 1 Scavenging Ooze, and 1 Kalitas. These are just cards that help you stabilize, or like the Eternal Witness helps you get card advantage. Eternal Witness and Chord of Calling is a good little combo. Eternal Witness can get back some of your like Kolaghan's Command and Eternal Witnesses is also another bonkers combination. So good together. I'm surprised that more Jund decks have not picked up Eternal Witnesses because of this synergy. Then I like to call this next stack here kind of the fight on the Phyrexian Obliterator stack. So all these cards work well either with Domri or with Phyrexian Obliterator. We have a 1/of Ulvenwald Tracker, which you can make another creature fight another creature, so it's kind of like our 5th Domri. It also has decent synergy with like the Kalitas making things fight. A 1/1 for 1 is not terrible. A lot of times just eats removal, and it's definitely after testing this deck, it's a lot better than you'd think. You can get this ability off, especially when you Chord of Calling it end of turn, and then untap, and then can make Ulvenwald Tracker cast like a Phyrexian Obliterator and make an Ulvenwald Tracker fight something in 1 turn. Then we have a Nightshade Peddler because it just gives anything Death Touch, and Domri and Death Touch is really good. So the ones I found out to give Death Touch is like Kitchen Finks is really good. Even Courser of Kruphix is good to give Death Touch too, because it can kill off basically anything and survive. Well, not anything, but most things in the format. And again, it's just another Chord of Calling tutor. And then we have the Melira package, the Melira Kitchen Finks package. So Infect is everywhere right now, so Melira is really good to tutor into, as it just shuts down Infect until they can deal with it. And then the 1/of Viscera Seer. Viscera Seer is not terrible either. You can sacrifice Kitchen Finks to start scrying for your combo, your synergies, more like synergies than combos. And then a 1/of Murderous Redcap. This can finish off the game. And then we have the 3 Kitchen Finks. So onto the sideboard, we have kind of a very similar Jund sideboard. We have 2 Fulminator Mage, Huntmaster of the Fells to help us stabilize. This could easily be another Kitchen Finks or an Obstinate Baloth or a Thragtusk even. We have 2 Slaughter Games to really combat the combo decks and Scapeshift especially. A Spellskite to bring in versus like Infect or other things that are trying to break up our combos. A Reclamation Sage just as a target for Chord of Calling to take care of any sort of problematic enchantment or artifact. 2 Pulse of Murasas. These are just super good versus Burn. Another Scavenging Ooze versus Dredge. 2 more Kolaghan's Command again for the Attrition Wars. Again, the Eternal Witness and Kolaghan's Command are really good. This also is another great card versus the Affinity, as it destroys an artifact and kills off another one of their. I love to do this when they activate like an Yawgmoth Nexus, and then you kill their Cranial Planing and do 2 damage to their Yawgmoth Nexus. Lavamancer comes in versus creature-based decks. It's also a really good card to pair up with Nightshade Peddler. Another Kalitas will bring this in against decks that it's good against. And 1 of Olivia, because Olivia pairs up very well against or pairs up very well with Nightshade Peddler again. And it's one of those cards that it can just take over. Might be a little bit top-heavy on the 4-drops, but again, you're definitely up to messing around with the numbers in here. These could be more removals. Again, I'm not a big fan of like Thoughtseizes and Inquisition in this deck. They can be in the sideboard, but we're not playing the traditional Jund route. We're not trying to really play an attrition. But I guess you could easily go that route with Phyrexian Obliterators. But I've chose not to do that. I think if you're going to go that route, though, you'd have to cut the removal spells and then just put in a bunch of Inquisitions here, which is definitely an option. But for this video series, I'm not gonna go that route. So again, that is the gist of the deck. We'll play some matchups here. We love to see other mid-range decks. That's a perfect matchup, like other Junds. That's a phenomenally lopsided matchup in my opinion for this deck. And it is a little bit weak versus combo. It's also pretty good versus aggro. Again, we want to see creature-based decks. So we'll queue this up and see how well it does. It's been Kevin with GatheringMagic.com. Thanks for watching.